Good morning, bookish gals and pals. Welcome back to my channel. Have you guys ever read the first line of a book and immediately thought this is going to be perfect for me, or had the opposite effect where you read the first line of the book and you were like, this is not my style, this is not going to be up to my speed, I'm not going to enjoy this? Well, today I'm going to be choosing my next read based off of the first line of the book alone. No blurbs, no Goodreads ratings, just pure vibes of the first sentence. So, will I discover a new favorite, or will this be an absolute disaster? Let's find out. I'm not going to tell you the names of the books from the sentences except for the one that I end up choosing, so try to guess below if you know what the sentence is from. I'm going to limit it to just 7 books that are on my TBR and read the first lines of those. 7's my favorite number, and also I just feel like it would be too much if I tried to do it just off the first line of any book that I have. So we are going to do those 7. Alright, so I wrote down 7 first lines of 7 of my books on my TBR. I'm going to read these out, and I'm going to decide on one, the book, based off of this alone. Okay, let's begin with the first one, which says, her own face lasted longer in the public eye. I don't know what that's from, and it's pretty short, so it keeps a lot of mystery to it. I don't know. Let's see. The full-bellied moon casts a silver sheen across Badishram Forest, the shadows stark against their illuminated backdrop. Okay, a bit longer. Just gives me more of the setting. It doesn't tell me much about the book itself yet. Let's see. The discourse surrounding the most superlatively evil being to have ever blighted the realm of Erin is complex and has already been written about in many thick and pedantic tomes. Okay, that's interesting, because it's kind of saying like that this is going to go in a different direction, that they've talked about this a lot. There's lots of books about it, but this is going to tell us a little bit more from a different perspective, maybe. I don't know. I also don't know what they're talking about the most superlatively evil being, so that's a mystery. We'll see. Out beyond the glittering city of Phantom, in the wild hearts of the plain, the midnight moon hung like a lantern in the sky, bathing the farmhouse that belonged to Seraphim Merchant's mother in a soft silver glow. Another one that talks about the moon and like the glow of it. I think we had one of those. Yeah, the full-bellied moon one. I do know what Phantom's from, so I'm trying to maybe steer away from ones that I know. Like if I'm able to tell what it is, I don't want to like know what this book is, so I'll just cut that one out for my experience. I'm not going to choose it, is what I'm saying. She should have been ticketed. It's a quick one. Doesn't tell you much, but does have interest. We'll see. The floor Alecto knelt on was a glittering sea of black marble flecked with diamond white. Doesn't tell you much. He's kneeling on a black and white floor. I don't know. Next one. In the winter of 1937 to 1938, thanks to a recommendation I was given by a teacher, the wife of a policeman, I was hired by a family of German Jews to teach their children in Italian. Oh, to tutor their children in Italian. That sounds like a nonfiction, and I do have some nonfiction, but I can't tell what that's from. Okay, I gotta narrow it down to which one I'm going to read. Okay, some keywords like Phantom and Alecto kind of clued me in onto what some of the books could be, so I'm going to steer away from those two because I don't want to know what this book is. So that kind of narrows it down a little bit easier for me. I want it to be a fun surprise, so we're going to move on to the other ones. The two that are calling out to me the most is that first one, her own face lasted longer in the public eye, and I think this is one of the more middle ones, but it's the shortest sentence, which says she should have been ticketed. I think the shorter ones pull me in a lot because there's such a lack of information, so there's so much possibilities. And I'm intrigued by these to see what exactly is going to happen and why the author chose those specific sentences to start out with. So one of these seems to call to me the most. They're both really intriguing. I'm going to go with she should have been ticketed because that one is the shortest sentence, so it leaves so much more room for things. It also has a little mystery. Why wasn't she ticketed? What should she have been ticketed for? Who is she? Etc., etc. I'm going to go with this one. Let me refer to my laptop to see which book that is real quick, and then we will find out what book I'll be reading. That means that I will be reading, pause for dramatic effect, The Book of Dragons. I know that I chose like 7 of my most anticipated reads, but I'm pretty excited about this one. I've been putting it off for a while, but it's an anthology of poetry, sci-fi, and fantasy all about dragons. And it just feels right up my alley of something that I would read. It is an anthology, so I'm not going to vlog like the entire experience. Originally, I was going to vlog like my first chapter or two and tell you guys my experience with that and tell you like whether I thought this was a good idea to pick my read. But since I am doing an anthology, then maybe I'll read the first story or two. Okay, checking in, I have read the first 4 sections. One was a poem, and then the other 3 were like short stories. They all felt not the poem. The poem was beautiful and a great start to the book. I think that was an excellent choice of the beginner, like the first thing to introduce us to these anthology. I felt like the 3 stories were really good. I think I'm really used to novels right now, and so for me, they felt a little incomplete. I haven't read an anthology in a while, and I love anthologies, so I'm excited to get into this one. But I will say that they felt like the first chapter of different stories versus like different complete short stories. So I'm going to read more, and you will see my reviews on Goodreads, Storygraph, and my Instagram if you do follow along there. But for now, I'm enjoying it. I think it's a good anthology, and I'm excited to see what else there is in this collection. Okay, that was a pretty fun experiment. Let me know down in the comments which sentence hooked you the most, and if you think I made a completely wrong choice, you should course correct or try this experiment again. If you enjoyed this little reading experiment thing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, happy reading!